G'day, buddy miners. We've got a special guest. We've found someone more famous than Ali GC today.
I'm so excited today,
Mate,
mate.
courtesy of bloody, I don't know who's more famous out of Paul Natoli and Jeremy McGovern, but we've got one of them in here today.
Yeah.
McGov, welcome to Money of Mine, Cobber.
Thanks for having me. I'm probably a little bit easier to get hold of than Paulie these days. He's probably all over the world doing whatever he's doing. But no, thanks for having me.
Oh, no
Good
worries,
to
mate.
have
As
you.
I said, you got don't feel it's not a judiciary hearing or anything. Like, we're just nice and relaxed. Not
That's
you
what
won't
they all
get
say.
fined or anything. Or
They always say that before. They do the hearings.
Right, so I assume the Great Grounded Group is bloody making the most out of you before you go back for the final season for the Eagles next year, mate.
A little bit. Obviously, I got involved with Grounded sort of halfway through last year on a more professional level, I guess. I've known Paulie for a fair time, and we've done a little bit of work for him over the years through my own personal businesses. But of late, I've sort of come on board with them to help them with some BDM stuff, and I think with AFL and footy and everything we do, I've always sort of bounced some things off Paulie and how I've integrated that into business, and he's always been pretty keen to hear it. So, yeah, sort of got on board with him and helping him out where I can.
Sensational. Well, mate, you are like being dropped in as a mining news expert today. 'Cause
Yeah.
we've got a couple of deals to talk about.
Oh.
We've got a bit of copper gold in the Philippines. GC, you're going over we're back on Trump.
Oh,
There's-
back on Trump.
Yeah,
There's always
Trumpy.
something. There's something new every day with old Trumpy, a bit of gold, and a few other bits and pieces. So let's get kicked off.
Gov, you got any, do you have much of it, because you obviously can't punt on sport in your role, but you probably can punt on shares. You got any shares? Do you got any holdings you need to disclose?
I've got a few that I'll play around with, yes.
Well, if they're not mentioned today, usually we go ding, 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 just to not make it look like you're pumping the share price up. But you might be safe. So
No, I had a quick look, so I could have scanned through.
None today.
None today, but none of these shares. I guess you guys are going to be talking about today, but I'll play around a little
Mate,
bit.
you just chime in whenever you
All right,
want.
that
It's
sounds
bloody
good.
free for all. It's a very professional establishment. Right, first I'll get this bloody thing over.
Get your iPads.
Right,
sorted.
another bloody, what are we, JC, we've had a shell company rebirth again today.
Another one.
Oh, ding, ding, ding for Blackstone for me. Love investing in the graveyard that is the Philippines mining industry.
Love it.
Have a look at this stock price. So, yeah, the highs, the peaks, the volatility, that was the nickel boom in 2022 that eventuated to nothing for Blackstone. And now they've converted themselves, as you've seen here, based on, the rebirth as a copper gold potential developer with all scrip merger of equals with IDM. So they've picked up this bloody humdinger it's friggin' huge. So it's like a big copper porphyry gold project in the Philippines.
Okay.
2.5 Ks from the, the far southeast porphyry project, and that's the one that bloody Goldfields have chucked a phenomenal amount of money into that. Goldfields acquired 40% of it in 2012 for US $230 million and chucked a shitload of drilling into it. They had an option to acquire another 20%, but haven't exercised it. So they've invested US $500 million into this, the one up the road, and it's sort of, hasn't really gone anywhere, which is very interesting. And so this one's got the one that Blackstone have picked up. It looks like it's like 9 million ounces of contained gold, but
It's massive.
and it looks like they're gonna, very early days, but there's this high grade core that they could potentially develop and not have to friggin' go down the whole block cave route, which is something you see commonly with these huge friggin' deposits. So I don't know. Apparently Philippines is pro mining now. Government
okay.
change in 2022 because it's had a bit of a checkered history with mining in the Philippines. So you've been to the Philippines, Gulf, by any chance?
I haven't been to the Philippines yet.
But this mob might
I might have to get
up
over
for a
there.
bit. Mate, you could just, between Grounded and whatever other friggin' mining company might need your services, just, mate, if you could learn a bit about the Philippines, you
Yeah,
might
if we get a free
gig there.
trip, I'll head over for sure. I don't know why the if they got that much gold, it's probably a good time with the gold price to get that out.
The unfortunate thing about 9 million ounces is you can't get them all out at once.
Yeah, it'll be great.
you got to chuck a bit of
horrible,
coin
isn't
in to
it?
start. And like God, if you can find a way to do it, you could sell that for a lot of bloody coin. So, it looks like
Because who
there's
else is there in the Philippines? It's B2 Gold.
Oceana are over there.
Okay.
But there's been some horror stories in bloody Philippines. I think, God, good old Medusa Mining, X 1064. Don't forget bloody Red 5. They done their ass over there with the Siana Gold project. I think they only
yeah, that's
sold
right.
it for bloody US 19 million after multiple bloody halts with it. So she's not easy going there based on history, GC. Yeah, look at the figures are 793 million tonne at 0.35% copper, 0.38 grams per tonne gold. So they obviously put a chart up to support whatever thesis they got, and you can see these ones compared to Filo del Sol and everything. The actual copper and gold grade together is a lot higher. It's got a lot more gold in it than other porphyries do, according to this chart. They don't have the big outliers on there. So, going to be interesting. I like the honest disclosure, which you don't see too often. Following completion of the merger, there is a potential capital raising to support transaction-related costs. It's a given, but not many companies actually say, we are definitely going to capital raise. So it was up a bit at the start, so it's probably getting hindered by that. And they've actually cleaned out a few off the board. So they've reduced the board size. So because I think a lot of the board previously was very nickel focused, because you had Dan Lower there from
And that was for their
Western Areas.
Vietnam project that they were doing.
So, and obviously, I don't know if you got the memo, but nickel ain't in flavour at the moment, unfortunately. So, Dan Lowe, Frank Berlin and Alison Gaines are all resigning from the board. They're bringing in one of the IDM directors onto the board as part of the merger, so it's going to be a 3-person board. So we will wait and see. There's a bit, you would think with this whole, I know the boys are talking about Xanadu, a lot of these, everyone's wanting copper. Whether how pro-attractive the Philippines will be, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. Very early stages. I think the scheme's going to be implemented by May or so, by the time the vote needs shareholder approval on both sides. So we'll see what bloody happens.
Yeah, and I think, you don't see many copper gold porphyries on ASX these days, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with that in the Philippines.
Yeah, well, you think, okay, what's the closest thing to Vietnam? Is probably the Philippines. So and nickel, copper, gold, mineral. It's a bit different. They've taken a bit of a different journey, but hey, another shell company rebirth. I like it.
Go the shells.
Go the shells, buddy. None of this is investment advice either, Gov. Don't chuck your old paycheck in anything I say. How's the off season going, mate?
Oh, off season's done. Pre-season's where we're at.
All right,
what are we?
It is off season. It is off season
technically.
for the fans, I guess. Pre-season for us. Mate, it's going good, going well. They're not getting easier, that's for sure. And Perth's weather hasn't helped us out.
I can imagine.
That's for sure. It's been a couple of years, I think, since we've had we obviously normally get some pretty bad heat through this time of the year, but it's felt like it's been freaking 5 months of it.
Did you have to train yesterday? It's like 42 degrees.
Yeah, no, we got to keep going. Unfortunately, we're not part of the unions.
You
we've got to keep
water
going.
or anything, mate?
Yeah, no, it's they look after us when we train in that heat, but it's actually good for training.
Why don't you just do night shift? Get a mining field.
Sometimes
train at night.
Yeah, sometimes we do. Actually, we do night training at different stages throughout the year. But it's actually good for your cardio and everything else to train in the heat. It's just you feel like shit.
You just feel shit after.
Mate, I walked 18 holes of golf yesterday in that heat. So look, I know what you're going through.
Yeah, very similar. Very, very, very similar. Yeah. So it's been going well. Obviously, we're a different group this year. Very young, but very exciting as well at the same time. So everything's going well. New coach, everything's sort of new. So it's it's different for me, but also very exciting as well. So good mixed emotions about a few things.
So if I like just from the shop floor, like if I was going to possibly place a bet on Eagles to make top 8, would you say that is likely or unlikely? Like just
I'd say it's not a silly bet, but
you heard it here first, GC. I can't hedge it against it. Can I hedge it? Possibly.
You can't do a pairs trade with it.
Can I do a pairs trade on it?
No, I don't think it's silly, especially when you get new coaching, new players, young opportunities, anything can sort of happen off the back of that. So we're very optimistic. We're just trying to get better, of course, but yeah, top 8 would be great. If you want to back us in, that'd be even better.
Oh, well, what would you rate better, being in the top 8 or working alongside Paul Natoli? Now, that is a hard thing to answer.
Yeah, that's very, very hard. I'm taking the top 8. No,
Well, we're just chatting before. Now, here's an idea before we get into Trump and whatever other mining news is around.
Yes.
We're talking about, like, I'm already thinking about diggers and dealers, obviously. And, you know, the accommodation.
It's barely February, but
just the
it's on the
accommodation
mind
crisis
already.
in Kalgoorlie to get a place to stay if you haven't got a mate or a person that's doing an Airbnb. Is there vacant land available for a grounded camp to facilitate better accommodation at diggers and dealers?
Temporary living quarters for the 6011 and beyond
Yeah.
for that 1 week.
Mate,
What an opportunity.
Just purely for the week.
We could even get the Gov walking around with some bloody limoncello and cannolis in true Paul
I'll clean your
Natoli
toilets for you.
style.
I'll do the whole lot.
If anyone's got a vacant piece of land that they think they might want to put a grounded camp on, I'm happy to be the first point of contact, just so I'll get a cut out of it once I pass it on.
Just so you got somewhere to stay for diggers.
Oh, I can't wait. Mate, we'll get the whole team over there.
Get some bacon and eggs going in the morning just to boost the morale.
I'll be
After
signing the
night
West Coast
before.
boys shirts. It's like you're coming into my world of diggers and dealers.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I snuck up there a couple of years ago when I was injured, and I've heard a lot about it. And there was a lot of people telling me about it, and it was very hard to believe. And then I got there and just couldn't believe it. It was amazing yet weird, but it just works.
That is such a good summary of diggers.
Yeah, it was so good.
I'll tell you the funniest story of how like niche mining that diggers and dealers is. I was in there and these young fellas come up. They're like, Matty, can we get a selfie? I'm like, mate, what do you want a photo of me for? Chris Judd is standing over there like an absolute AFL legend. Go get a photo with him. They're like, no, like, bloody, we love the potty. And I'm like, this is fucking weird. Poor old Judd, he's not even getting enough love over there.
Yeah, I reckon.
He loves it now. He's bloody floating around. He's the man of the finance world. And when you talk to him, you're like, holy shit, this bloke is all over it. Like,
He is
a
all over it.
genius.
So switched on.
Yeah, it's crazy how I'm not surprised. He's just that way inclined. But yeah, speaking to him, I've said a few times, mate, you're speaking in riddles right now. You make sense. It sounds like you know it. I've got no idea what you're talking about. But no, he's a very switched on guy, very well connected.
Was he? Is it I guess the same things that made him a good footy player, a good finance person, like just all in addictive? Oh, I'm learning this now. Or,
I don't know him on that level, at the footy level. I was a bit after him, but from all reports, yeah, very much. And I think he really enjoys it. He loves it, and I think that's the number one thing. If you really enjoy or love something, you're gonna sink your teeth into it, aren't you? So and
I think he
he's
makes
very good.
people money too. Like it's disclosed, like his things go
Over
up.
for his,
He's not
sorority
scamming.
fund. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he does really, really well, Juddy. And it's good to see him still coming over to WA, and he comes over here a fair bit. So it's good to see that he still has an interest back over here, even though he left us and dogged us a few years ago, Juddy.
I love it. Actually, what is we were talking about this before. Like, what do you reckon some good lessons that you learnt or you're learning in footy that you reckon would be very applicable to some mining companies?
Yeah, I think the thing for me is I've realised, obviously, I've obviously been involved with Grounded now for a little bit, and some of my own personal business stuff is the people management, culture, leadership, feedback. Everyone does that throughout business, and everyone's trying to create a good culture where everyone wants to come into work, have a common goal. Our common goal is, as footballers, obviously, is to win and win flags. For businesses, the common goal is to either produce a product or sell a product or whatever it might be, but everyone sort of has to have a common goal to achieve that. So we sort of live it every single day. In our space, we give and take feedback every second. We walk in there, you know, you're not getting criticised, but the eyes are on you and you're seeing what you do and how you behave and how you speak to people and how you give feedback. And then I've found over my journey so far is the change in generations. When I first got in, it was, can I swear?
You have come to the right place, mate.
Yeah, it was fit in or fuck off. That was the mentality. You do this or you're not going to make it.
That's what FIFO stands for.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then obviously as the generational changes come, it's definitely not that now. It's a bit more nurturing, finding different ways to deal with that. And I've sort of had the same experience through business and how to nurture the new generation coming through and how to get through to the new generation without telling them that they're shit at their job and they need to be better is what it used to be.
Well, I think it's pretty like in mining services providers, like it's pretty similar to a game of footy regularly, isn't it? Like if you're tendering for a contract, you either win it or you lose it. Yeah. And like you take that same mentality on the field to like if we don't win this, we're not making money. Like,
yeah, of course.
Which is what footy used to be when they were getting match payments. It's a bit different now. Like, I think they talk about the old, you know, the league back in the day where they're getting like, you know, $1,000 a win and 200 for a loss. It's like there was a tangible difference between winning and losing.
The incentives, was to win, And that's the thing, you're trying to align everyone. Everyone's got different backgrounds, different opinions, different views. It's very much the same at a footy club, different ages, different everything, and you're trying to align everyone when we play mainly and training for the same common goal of winning. It's very much the same within business. You're trying to get everyone aligned, working together, making sure everyone's comfortable, happy to come in. So then you can get productivity. If you get productivity, hopefully you can start winning some jobs, delivering some jobs, and delivering a good service. And then you start building your reputation, your culture, your brand, which then puts you in good stead. It's very, very similar in AFL. So I've sort of been working with Ground on a bit of that sort of stuff and a few other different businesses here and there, and it's great that it actually coincides really, really well. And footy just wasn't footy game. The game of football wasn't just a complete waste because when that's done, you're done. If that makes sense, I can't just keep playing footy for money until I'm 100. I'm glad that we've actually learning things outside of football that I think most players don't completely understand yet. Until they finish.
You could be the saviour for diggers and dealers building camps. Like you, think of like your life in footies could mean one thing, but post footy, you could transform the mining industry.
Yeah, who knows?
After this conversation we've had today,
who knows? Yeah, that'd be great. But
well, if any of you we've actually got another partner I've got a yarn about today. So if any of your other footy teammates might be looking for a similar role, I reckon I've got another mob because I don't want to. You cheating on Grounded with Quattro Project Engineering.
Our new sponsor.
So I'll give you a bit of context, Gov, and you might be able to see which player could fit the mould for this. So, mate, I don't know if you've been underground much, but so I'll attach Quattro to the products they've invented. They're part of the Burncut group, but they're like the fan hanging systems to take people away. They invented that. The paste diversion valves underground. They've invented that. The flash new bloody IT baskets that conform to all the EWP standards, the MEWP. They've invented that. Design, construct. They're pretty much just an underground can-do joint for fabrication and engineering work. Gov, which West Coast player would be the Gov equivalent we could flick over to Quattro?
I'm just trying to think who's got the best head to be underground. Mate, I think all of them, like really, a lot of them, it's just ingrained in them. That's just the way that a lot of them operate, especially not just players, coaches as well.
Anyone from a farming background? Because the engineering, construction and underground's a bit of a farm. Any of the boys from a farming background?
Yeah, there's Jamie Cripps. He's got a little bit of a farming background. He's doing some work with Nutrient at the moment. Liam Duggan, obviously, he's our captain at the moment. He'd be great. But like I said, most of the boys, there's a lot of coaches as well. Simo's just out of a gig, so he'd be priceless to wrap Simo up.
It feels like there's nothing I can't do today. Like, imagine if I line Simo up with Quattro. It's the new just the business development head of Quattro. This could be done.
Yeah, I think it's it's great for businesses and sports people because I think it just aligns really, really well. As much as we're taking the piss out of the video, I honestly think hopefully something can come of it because it just aligns really, really well. And Simo's managed heaps of players, executives, CEOs. He's managed a lot, and it's a lot of work, and he's put a lot of time into it. So,
mate, Simo, give me a ring. Out. Give me a ring. I could line you up with Jeremy Palmer and the Quattro team, mate. Quattro are looking for people. Anyone with that sort of attitude that just wants to work in a no dickhead environment, bloody, they can just turn you into an engineering legend at Quattro. So go to the careers page at Quattro. Simo, if you're listening, careers at Quattro. Go chuck your CV in, mate, and we might even you could be the face of the joint. This is
Quattro.
What a world we live in. How good is Perth, eh? So let's go across the ditch to the northern hemisphere, North America. What is happening with the Trump has done a lot in the last few days. I saw one tweet where he said there's been $100 billion lost to the Ukraine in the Biden government. So he said, because we can't find that, effectively all the rare earths you produce are ours now.
It's just like every half an hour there's just like something out.
What was the other one saying? Gaza's going to he's going to turn Gaza into a holiday destination.
The Riviera of the Middle East or something. I'm like, okay.
God, talk about embracing Twitter.
Just a little bit.
Do you follow the real Donald Trump on Twitter, Gov?
Yeah, I do. I don't have Twitter. I follow him on Instagram. But
he's tough to keep up with, I can tell you that.
Oh, especially now. Now he's got the keys to the car. He's driving it. That's for sure.
Normally when they get to those roles of responsibility, they sort of taper that back. But he's just amped it up, if anything. So I don't think there's any. Appears to be pretty lax social media policies within the American government.
Honestly,
in the White House.
So,
he does really well to I'm like, Trump, you might be okay here, and then 2 days later you're going, oh no, what's going on, Trumpy? You look like you're on the right path there for a little bit, doing some great things, and then he shoots from the hip a bit, but well, that's Trumpy.
Right, JC, give us a macro political economic update, mate.
No, I'm taking over from Macro Matty today.
Oh, no, mate, I've handed the
reins over.
I'm like Simo's going to be at Quattro, just here to develop people.
So, there's a couple updates the last few days. So China responded to the US tariffs with some of their own and some key mineral export bans. So the other day, this is an article from AFR, sort of talking about the news, 15% tariffs on US coal and LNG and 10% on crude oil, agricultural machinery and some vehicles as well. It won't take effect till the 10th of Feb, which is next week.
I think it might actually affect the companies that you got, Gov, because I think Cat.
Yeah, you reckon?
I think Cat. Do they fabricate anything over in China? I think
sure.
I remember watching CNBC. They had the Cat share price up, so I'm like on the screen. So I'm like, it must be affected by the China. Yeah, because it's like it doesn't matter where they're headquartered if they're building it over there.
Yeah,
it's going to affect them.
And then they also China also expanded sort of some key mineral export controls on a few different commodities, including tungsten, tellurium, bismuth, molybdenum and indium, which I've only heard of tungsten before. I'm not sure of the others.
But molybdenum, is that molybdenum or different one? Tellurium, that's an interesting.
Yeah, so it's not an outright ban. It's more so restrictions and, there's some export licenses you have to get and, things like that. There's a screen grab from the Reuters article that was talking about it the other day. So these Chinese countermeasures are much more limited in scope compared to what sort of Trump initially fired out with, which was, basically a 10% levy on all Chinese goods heading to the US. And there's sort of mixed reports of whether there's a call between the two leaders that scheduled for later this week or it's trying to get scheduled. So I wonder whether anything might actually come out of it, kind of like the Mexico and the Canada discussions. Once the sort of leaders discuss things, it's like, okay, no, we'll pause it for 30 days and, see how we go, So
can you imagine Big Albo, our Prime Minister flexing his muscles against Trump?
No.
Do you reckon he'd have the minerals for it?
I don't, probably not.
And it's just a shame that they use the tariffs because obviously you throw a tariff in, that affects a lot of businesses, obviously, all over the world. And they just flirt with it. I'm just going to throw one on now overnight. It's just, it's poor game, I reckon. You've got to, it's just you're flexing in that aspect. It hurts so many industries. But if the US and China are going to go at it with all this mineral tariffs, it might actually open up a bit more opportunity for Australia over here to try to do a deal with China direct.
Yeah, well, but because he's talking about chucking it on the Europe as well. Like, but I wonder what he thinks about us. Like, if we
just got to do what we can to
we're
keep
just
everyone
like,
happy, don't we?
just don't, just
leave us
you know,
alone.
I hope he doesn't see us down here.
Yeah, whose side are you on? Like, whose side do you want me to be on?
It looks like he doesn't want to side. He's like where it's just going to be USA, and then everyone can conform around them. Who knows? Maybe doesn't look like he's a man that wants any allies.
No,
but he's like he looks half dead when he's bloody. It must be to be an American president these days. You've got to be nearly ready to die because he looks so old. And funny because wasn't Biden and Trump are all older than Bill Clinton?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, Trump's holding a bit better than Biden, but
that's very true.
Give him time.
And then the other interesting thing, sort of as it relates to resources, is there was a Bloomberg article out saying that Trump is mulling cancelling loans from $400 billion Green Bank. So apparently they're sort of looking into legal options to cancel loans that have already been issued under this program to sort of finance clean energy tech. But it remains to be seen, obviously, if it is legally viable. No decisions have been made. But the DOE is saying that whole loan program is sort of being considered as part of an agency-wide review to ensure all activities are consistent with President Trump's executive orders and priorities. And, as far as what sort of energy tech that could get directed to, we're pretty well known he's fan of nuclear power, LNG and all that. Some of the loans, for example, that have already been finalised at this stage is $15 billion to PG&E Corp.
That 15 billion sounds small when you look at all these American numbers. Just
9.2 billion to Ford, 1 billion to the Nevada lithium mine that's being developed by Ioneer, which I think we talked about a little while ago, and even almost $500 million to Elon's Tesla to get Model S into production. So, I'm not sure how it'd be pretty hard to cancel something that's already been issued, but if you were sort of in that negotiation phase or in the wings phase, and then this sort of comes out, I mean, you'd get pretty nervous, right?
Oh,
it's just madness.
Oh, God.
You know what's not nervous at the minute is the gold price.
Yes.
That is not nervous at all.
Or just wait for Trump to bring something in to kill that as well.
No, leave the gold price alone.
Let's leave that there, Trumpy.
But it's dangerous times with the gold. It's that you would have remembered the lithium mania sort of a couple of years ago. And you get in that phase and everyone starts tipping coin in where you think, this is impossible to go down. We're in that at the moment.
Yeah.
But gold's obviously a lot bigger market and been around a lot longer than lithium. But you see how it just goes... But it doesn't appear to be doing that at the moment.
No, and I mean, I think every day you read an article, gold has hit a new record again overnight, and that's just been repeated, basically.
Well,
most days.
It's just got to, once it's at a record, it's just got to go up, and it's going to be a new record.
But it just keeps going.
You got any records, Gov, with the club or bloody AFL? No, you may as well talk yourself up.
No, number one. No, my record's... It's not a proud one, but I've top 3 highest skin folds ever at the footy club, which I laugh about now, but is extremely embarrassing. So,
mate, but Tom Brady, they reckon, out of the fitness tests and stuff they put him through, quarterbacks, he was last. He was always last. So you're pretty much parallel. You're the AFL equivalent of Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Very, very similar, obviously. But me and Tom, we're obviously professional at our sport, not athletes. I'm professional at
I love
footballer.
that, professional at our sport.
Yeah, it's not athletically.
Oh, bro. No, is there anything that bucket list items in footy that you think, fuck, bloody, I'm at the end of my career now, I wish I did that? Or have you ticked most boxes, you think?
I win premiership's probably the number one for
Huge.
sure, which I'm fortunate enough to have one of those. Other than I've kicked one off the siren. No, I don't think so. No, I'll win a Brownlow or something probably, maybe, but good luck
Mate,
winning that.
wait
from
the
the
back
back.
Yeah, from the back line, that's hard work.
Yeah,
That'd
very
be
hard
another
work.
record, oldest Brownlow winner.
I don't know if that's a bucket list thing, but it would be nice to, I guess, have one.
Did you ever get close? Were you
Nah.
ever up in the leaderboard?
Never.
It's a
I don't-
midfielder's game.
Yeah, I
that
don't
one.
think.
Yeah.
The backs unfortunately.
Has
get
the back
overlooked
ever
a bit.
won it?
A fair while ago, I think, a long time ago, when they were valued.
Oh, no,
No, they.
Hey, but Gov, tell you
nah.
what don't you say, hey, take me away and see what happens?
Yeah.
Nah, it's a fair award for the midfielders, but there's no point inviting backmen or forwards to the Brownlow night. Just invite all the midfielders.
So we're going to see in your last year, we're going to see a lot of bloody solo runs trying to just kick goals. You're like, fuck it, I might as well kick a few before I finish up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to cost the team 30 goals a game, but as long as I get one.
And that's all you'll be remembered for. You don't remember for your
Straight from the
last
back.
year.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, GC, any other bloody
God.
deals we can go through today?
Oh, so and just a quick one. I was just having a look at how the Aussie gold equities have been performing, sort of off the back of gold price the last month. So whipped up a quick chart. Just saw the Aussie gold producers producing above 100,000 ounces. And
It looks like a heart rate monitor, doesn't it?
yeah, and I mean, this is just over the last month. Some of these guys, most of them sort of averaging, 20, 30, and even you got Catalyst in the 40% just in the last month. The only one, so they've all outperformed the gold price. The only one that hasn't outperformed the gold price is West Gold, which obviously had that guidance revision the other day, which knocked it off a fair bit. But even that's recovered a little bit since then. I mean, last year kind of felt like the gold price was rising, some boats, maybe in a few, mostly in the producer space, maybe a little bit in the developers, but now it very much feels like it's starting to lift all of these boats, even down that kind of development curve. But I wonder whether we're approaching gold 5,000 Aussie. I just don't. Every day you think, surely it won't go anymore, and it just sort of does. But
yes. But do they have for investing, Gov? Like, do they, do the clubs give investment education? Like when blokes are getting paid, because if I was early 20s getting paid $1 million, I'd be like, how much fun can I have? Don't worry, I'll sort that shit out after 30.
Yeah.
But do they give much? Like the investing in life after footy for the people that
Education.
might be a bit less inclined to be a bit more behaved like you are?
No, not really. The clubs do obviously try and help with stuff outside of footy. Managers do. We get the AFLPA as well, which are there to help with those sort of things. But no, it's pretty much up to the individual to. Everyone's got a different
do you want me to come
risk
in?
profile, I'd imagine.
I'll come in and give some seminars.
You're going to have
Or
to
something.
pump it up with it.
Just chuck it into this stock, boys. It's going up.
Yeah. No, the boys, everyone sort of plays around a little bit, and we all hear whispers and things, and everyone puts some money in and loses it most of the time. But most individuals have their own sort of individual plans. Some are real tight asses, and others have really high risk. And but yeah, it's up to each individual and mainly their management group and how they deal with it, I guess. But I'd highly recommend getting involved.
There's
in some
the
capacity.
best thing about Perth as well. There's no poker machines in the pubs, so I think a lot of the Sydney footballers lose half their wage in them friggin' things. So
Yeah.
it's just like Perth, the land of opportunity.
Land
It's a
of-
safe haven.
Perth is gold, safe haven. Oh,
Yeah, everyone
right.
get on gold and watch it fall. No.
Oh, right, GC, another African gold investment.
Yeah, just the last one for today. I thought looked interesting. So another sort of, on a much smaller scale, a strategic investment in African Gold Explorer. But I found it interesting because it had a couple of common threads to the predictive story, which we touched on earlier this week with Zijin and Lundin in investing in that. So the company is Apollo Minerals. It's 14 million market cap, bit of a minnow.
Oh, right in the alley.
Main focus is this Solani gold project in Gabon. So common thread number one is Paul Roberts, who's a Ned on the board, is the founder and ex-MD of Predictive. And so today's news, where Apollo, they raised $2 million from their sort of previously announced shortfall offer, which was cornerstoned by a strategic investment of just under $1.5 million from Capital DI and their supporters. And so Capital DI have been doing the drilling at Solani. And so the second common thread is Capital DI was one of the shareholders who sold their stake, predictive stake, to Perseus.
Gee, this is like
This is a
bloody
fun fact.
FBI sort of stuff here. I'm surprised we haven't seen the fact, and considering that Paul Natoli is in Africa at the moment, I'm surprised we haven't seen something come up like strategic investment from the Grounded Group because Paul got shit-faced and agreed to something while he was on the red wine.
Oh,
But we
he's not
haven't-
back- he's not back yet. There's a massive chance.
It still could happen.
Huge chance. But yeah, no, they're a major shareholder of a few other African gold explorers, Capital DI. So there's Wea Gold, they've got that Coco Sep gold project in Namibia, Azara Minerals, the Cater Gold project in Guinea. But yeah, it's nice to get like between, this is obviously on a smaller scale, but even the news from earlier this week, it's nice to get some excitement and positivity back in African gold in light of recent events. But
Are you transferring yourself from the Murchison gold to African gold now, GC?
I think
It's trending.
It's trending. I think it's worth a look at, right?
But this could be your new, like, every Twitter post
My new
is
pivot.
related to. So for content, Ali's got like, because she had all these dings for all the shares she held, and there was so many gold stocks she held, it become on Twitter, and everything was just related to the Ali GC ETF, and she become coming from a life of not much social media work to now being this famous gold stockholder.
Just really overestimating my positions like 10 times, but I'm just
the
a
African
humble
gold-
young investor.
Gold company's just going to be shooting through the roof now.
It is just what is my life, but anyway.
Oh, love it. Well, Gov, mate, thanks, for that.
That was
No worries.
awesome.
Thanks for having me.
As I told you, zero plan just works sometimes.
It does.
And mate, thanks for popping in, and we'll can't get any more. Do we even need to mention Grounded at the end? Geez, they've been given some love. Every sponsor will be like, "Oh, can we come on?" I'm like, "Mate, you bring a bloody footy star with you. Yep, you can come on."
Once we get Simo, you'll be all right.
Yeah, and then you can come on for Quattro.
Quattro, sorry, not Quantum.
Thanks to bloody Grounded and Quattro, as we said. Our other partners we'd like to bloody thank as always. That's how we get the coin, Gov. That's what keeps the lights on for us. So we've got to give them the love accordingly. The Sandvik Ground Support division. You'll see all these guys are diggers once you build the camp up there. CRE Insurance, K-Drill, Saltbush Contracting, Swick, Cross Boundary Energy, and don't forget to buy the bloody Underground Operators tickets through us, $100 off in Adelaide. We should go to that. Plenty of bloody camp opportunities. We've got some grounded in the crowd. We've got a grounded crowd. Righto, hoodaroo, Money Miners. Cheers, Gov.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
The information contained in this episode of Money of Mine is of general nature only and does not take into account the objectives, financial situation or needs of any particular person. Before making any investment decision, you should consult with your financial advisor and consider how appropriate the advice is to your objectives, financial situation and needs.